Haddad, he was put forward as the candidate for the Workers' Party just a month before the election, and after the party had tried to put forward the popular President Lula da Silva, who was not allowed to run due to corruption charges. Do you think the Workers' Party is now considering it as a misstep in the way that they've handled this election?
Hi, good evening. Just one thing, I'm not a supporter of the PT. I'm just saying that since 2016 there has been a coup d'etat and that there has been a vast coalition against this party to take over. And I think that this election is actually this coalition taking finally in its most authoritarian and violent form the power. Now, about strategy of the PT, honestly, it's not the time to talk about that. I don't have enough information. What I do know, it's what your correspondent just said, is that people are afraid. People who supported the PT as their last hope to support democracy, to defend civil rights, to actually defend everything we are supposed to stand for, which is fight neo-fascism.
Now, the popular President Lula da Silva has been imprisoned on corruption charges after he apparently accepted a seaside flat as a bribe from a building construction company, and then his successor from the Workers' Party was impeached for fiddling the figures. During the previous election. Have people become disillusioned with the Workers' Party?
Well, again, as I said, in both charges are we actually have no proof on both charges. That's something that we've been talking about several months, several years now. There is no proof against Dilma. There's no proof against Lula, and in both cases, there is a political persecution against them. Now, there is a whole issue about what is truth, what is information, and the election of Bolsonaro is actually based on fake news, based on myth that was built against the PT as the most corrupt party in the history of Brazil, which is actually a big lie. Not that there is no corruption within the PT, but it's not the most corrupt party. The former person who just talked said that Bolsonaro was not involved in corruption. That is actually not true. His former party, the PP, is actually one of the most corrupt parties. The party is involved in the Lava Jato process, but this is all part of a narrative to say that the PT is the most corrupt and therefore needs to be thrown out. But again, Dilma is still waiting for the justice system to decide on her, so it was a political process against her, and Lula was charged for immaterial facts. So there is no proof. Again, people are convinced that he's guilty, but there is no proof of his actual participation in the process.
But nonetheless, he is spending 12 years, he's been sentenced to 12 years in prison for those crimes.